Hello everyone, welcome back to the Workbench. Every once in a while, you have an opportunity to do something kind of neat, to keep something in the family, to preserve something for future generations. I had that opportunity not long ago. My brother-in-law was looking to sell a firearm of his, a Colt, and I thought it would be kind of sad to see it leave the family, so I offered to buy it from him and was lucky enough to be able to do so. Let me show you what it is. This here was something that, I don't know, you see the blue box, you think 1911, and that's definitely not what this is. So let's just get into it here. This is a Colt Double Eagle. So this was Colt's idea for 1911 version 2.0, if you will. I thought it was kind of interesting when he was telling me a little bit about it, and I started doing some research on it. And I found that there are some people out there that absolutely love these, absolutely love them. And from what I understand, they're a pretty cool collector's items, especially if you can get an original Colt Double Eagle. This one is, what is that? It's a Mark II Series 90, and it's just a neat little firearm. The best part about this, well, there's two really cool things. Let me show you the first one. This firearm, let's see if I can give you the date down here. Yep, there it is. This firearm was originally purchased in, if I can show you, October 6th, 1992 at Walmart at 7:02 p.m. in the evening. It was a layaway item that was put on layaway by this gentleman, and he paid a whopping $518.62 to get it out of layaway, and the total cost of the firearm was $545.86. I'll tell you right now, that is not what I paid for this gun. It has appreciated in value a great deal. So the cool thing about this, the Colt Double Eagles were chambered in a handful of rounds only, and this one is chambered in 10 millimeter. So this is a 10 millimeter, basically 1911 version 2.0 in Colt size firearm, and it is a sweet little gun. It's kind of cool. It's got a little decocker lever here. Again, this is a first impressions video. This is not a full review of this gun by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know that I'll ever even do a full review of this gun, simply because it's kind of neat. It's not something you're going to go out and buy tomorrow necessarily. It's a neat little gun. From what I understand, most of the components, if not all of the components, are different from a 1911. You can see that trigger guard is different, the slide itself is different, and that might be the closest thing to a 1911. The frame is different, the grips are not interchangeable with a 1911, that's my understanding. It's got a bunch of funky little parts. It's double action, single action, so double action pull or single action pull. The single action pull you would think would be really light, really crisp, and it's not light, but it is crisp. The coolest thing about this trigger pull is look how far back I already am. Nearly on the frame back here. Nearly on the frame. And when you pull the trigger completely, it touches the frame. So it has, if you will, a built-in over travel guard. Reset. If I can show you this. That's it. That's the reset. Then it's ready to go again. It's such a neat little trigger. Now, in double action mode, it's very heavy. So you figure in single action mode, it would be much lighter. With our little wheeler gauge, let's do single action mode. You'd think it'd be really light. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. It's 4 pounds. Right at 4 pounds. Let's do that one more time. 4 pounds again. It's not heavy, but it's definitely not light. So now let's do double action. If I can even keep it on the trigger. This trigger is so unique. When it's in its full outright position, it's got so much of a hook to it. I don't know how to describe it. It's really, really unique. I've maxed out the gauge. Gauge only goes to about 8.5 pounds that I've maxed it out. So it's probably, oh geez, I'd probably venture to say, well, if that's 4, it's more than double. I'd say it's 9.5 pound trigger. Again, my gauge only goes to about 8.5, so it's probably a 9.5 pound trigger. It's heavy. It's not anything that you're going to take out and be a competition shooter with. But the whole reason this firearm was purchased, not in 1992, but by my brother-in-law, he was in Alaska and wanted a bear gun. In 1994, he served in the Air Force, actually, and he thought this was kind of a neat little gun, got a pretty good deal on it. I don't know exactly what he paid, but something tells me it might have been right around that $600 mark. And he wanted something that was chambered in a newer, I say newer, it's relative, right? So newer round in 10 millimeter, and wanted something for bear country. So he picked this up. Now, capacity on this, single stack, just kind of like a standard 1911, so it's 8 rounds in the magazine. You're at 8 plus 1. You're not really anything to write home about there, but it is such a cool little firearm. And again, I didn't want this to leave the family. I wanted an opportunity to keep this in the family and be able to pass it down from generation to generation, if not to my children, but maybe back to his children someday, my niece and my nephew. So the really neat thing about having a 10 millimeter now is I can do some kind of cool testing. I've watched some videos on the differences between 357 SIG and 10 millimeter, 40 cal and 10 millimeter, 9 millimeter and 10 millimeter, and it's really interesting to watch. But let's give you some perspective here. So okay, 9 millimeter casing, 40 cal casing, 45 ACP, 10 millimeter. That's a little bit of perspective for you. So it kind of gives you an understanding of the amount of velocity behind this round. So the 45 obviously is a bigger round moving slowly. The 9 millimeter is a smaller round moving much faster. The 40 cal and the 10 mil are very, very close in size. Very close in size. And very close in ballistics, really and truly. Energy is really where they're different. There is a difference. Again, I watched a video I'll link to below in terms of energy differences between 40 cal and 10 millimeter, and it's kind of cool to watch. He does a really good job. I believe Paul Harrell's his name. He does a very, very good job being a little more scientific about it, and he shows the differences between the two through different mediums. It'll give me an opportunity, this firearm will, to do some testing, right? Hey, I'm just curious. I know it's been done before. I'm not reinventing the wheel here, but I want to know what the difference between 9 millimeter and 10 millimeter is at a specific target type. So maybe in the future I will make some videos on me shooting this gun at different types of targets. I've got some old electronics I can shoot. I think that would make it look pretty good for the YouTubes. If there's anything you want to see me shoot, if there's something that's like, oh yeah, hey, I think I saw this in a previous video, or it'd be really neat to see 10 versus 9 against such and such, shoot that in the comments below, pun intended, and I'll take a look at it. So when I make future videos with this gun, I'll take a look at those and see if I can do exactly what you guys are asking for. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed a quick little first impressions video of the Colt Double Eagle chambered in 10 millimeter. With that, I will talk to you all again very soon.